Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be an extremely interesting one, and it involves the refunds of Namor and Obsidian. So we did just now, basically a couple hours ago, started receiving these refunds for our Namors and Calls that we sold, and now we're getting back all of our signature stones, all of our rank up resources, and copies of these champions. Now the big problem, seemingly, is the fact that the Kabam has sent out far too many copies of these champions to begin with, and I find it absolutely hilarious. Now, before anybody gets pissed off at me or saying that, I don't know, I'm blowing the whistle or whatever, no, Kabam knows about this problem. It's already posted up here in the forums, it's already up everywhere in the line rooms, and we can see the latest announcement. Summoners, there's an issue regarding the Obsidian and Namor resource refund. Summoners received more duplicates than they should have. We absolutely did. We are halting the process and working on a fix for this right now. More information will follow. So this implies a couple of things. Implies the fact that part of the summoners who sold Namor and Obsidian got their refunds and got more than they sold. Also implies the fact that some of the people didn't get their refunds yet, and their refunds are halted. Obviously, that is the group that's going to be pissed off now, right? It also leads us to some very kind of tricky and funny situations here, because like in this case, I sold my Namor unduped, got him back duped, right? Which is awesome, which is cool for me, but will inevitably piss off a lot of people. Especially people who did not sell their 6-star unduped Namors, or people who didn't receive their resources back yet, and Kabam will fix it and then reissue them as they should be. And that also leaves us with a whole heap of solutions. And before we go any further, before we discuss the potential solutions and implications and the fact that there is no great solution, let me just say this one thing. And you might think a bit less of me, and you might think that this is very petty and evil and mean, but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm absolutely loving the fact that Kabam messed up in such a colossal manner when it comes to these refunds due to multiple reasons. Number one, because it's a colossal mistake. It's not a mistake involving 1, 5, or 10 alliances. It's a mistake that involves thousands and thousands of summoners. Therefore, it is going to be a mistake that's very difficult to solve, because no matter which way they try to solve it, there will be groups of people left who are unhappy with the solution. Additionally, I find this to be bloody karmic justice, because I hate balance changes. It's simple as that. I think they are a waste of time and intellectual capabilities of people. I think they have served absolutely no purpose in game thus far, created a lot of fuss and commotion, made a lot of people very angry, and effectively hasn't changed a single thing. Namor got technically nerfed, but that nerfed did not change how good or bad or usable Namor is realistically. If there is a node that's perfect for Namor, you're going to use it. Other than that, Namor goes back on the shelf because he is not a very fun or cool champion to play with. He has his signature ability, and that's about it, and damage. And same with Obsidian. Like, if people like Obsidian, people will use it. Maybe a couple people more now, but that didn't really change how good or bad Obsidian is. And all of these weaker champions that I did rework as well, guess what? They're still sucks. Like Ebony Maw buff, like, is effectively unnoticeable. Like, don't care. Annihilus, don't care. Like, and yeah, so effectively it was a lot of fuss for very little outcome. Definitely a lot of frustration, and also the fact that even though technically they give us back our resources, they're not giving back our money to begin with, and our spending on this game definitely would be affected had we known some of these details before, because there are some people who may have chosen not to go for Namor if it was for whatever information that got balanced afterwards. And the second big problem is that these balance changes are kind of like ever-present annoying thought at back of your head because now people are worried, and rightly so, that their favorite new champions or new release champions they have acquired, gotten lucky, will get balanced in future. So now every rank up decision of a relatively recently released champion is kind of like overshadowed with some doubt whether it's a good decision, whether you should wait half a year or anything of the sort, because you never know which champions are going to get rebalanced. And even though you do rank these champions up now, there is something in the back of the head always to keep in mind and wait for the dreadful announcement. So once again, I absolutely hate balance changes. I hope they get rid of them. I think that they should simply abandon the entire program. Say that occasionally if somebody is severely overperforming, they might rebalance a champion properly and do it like thoroughly, but that should be like a severe exception, and they should move away from this trying to micromanage the champions and slightly tweak them. It matters very little in the broad aspect aside from pissing off people whose champions they're messing with. All of that being said, once again, I love it. It's so funny because there's so many people involved. It's a big problem. It's going to be hard to fix. And I guess I can't find a better word than schadenfreude to describe my current feelings towards Kabam, because it is pleasure of their misfortune, because they messed up in a very ironical way. They messed up in a very karmically just way, in my opinion as well. Now that I have spent quite a bit of time saying how happy I am about the fact that Kabam messed up once again, and specifically regarding this issue, we can talk about what's happening right now. So as I mentioned before in the video, there are several groups of players right now, and no matter what Kabam does, several of these groups will remain pissed off. So we have a group of players who did not sell their Call Obsidian or Namor because they figured they are good enough champions. There's no point in messing about. So they are currently missing out in the sense that if they had unduped 5 or 6 star Namor or 5 or 6 star Call Obsidian, they didn't sell them, they didn't receive the dupe, so they are pissed off at everybody who did because they got a free dupe. So now we have a group of people who did sell them but have not gotten their refunds back yet, and they're pissed off at the people who did sell these champions because guess what, they haven't gotten their resources back, so they don't know how long that's going to be delayed, so that's annoying to begin with, and they don't know what Kabam's solution will be, so that's again very kind of frustrating thing, because meanwhile, while they cannot enjoy their champions and how to wait back on their resources even more, there's a group of people who did get back their champions and resources and can already reinvest them, and possibly this will also affect people who were preparing to clear 6.4 initially out of the gate, because now if people have these champions back, they can rank them up or reuse these resources for 6.4, which is starting in like 2 days time. So if Kabam takes more than 2 days, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people who didn't get back their refunds in time. That being said, obviously there's a group of people like me currently, and I'm not trying to gloat about it. I generally do not care how Kabam fixes this issue. I'm just enjoying the fact that I have to sort out an issue. Who got back their champions and who got back more than they sold. The problem with this group is that they have gotten extra rewards and Kabam should take them back. Can they though? Because there are a lot of people who will rank up these champions immediately, claim ignorance, saying they didn't notice it, or I don't know what my signature level was, or blah 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 blah, whatever. Additionally, if you reinvest even just the resources, and even those resources in different champions, and make sure that your account does not have enough tier 2 alpha, ISO, gold, tier 5 basics, anything that came in that message, in any champions basically, and you use up those resources, make sure that Kabam cannot just kind of like take back everything that they have sent out and then try and issue these compensation or refund packages properly. So they cannot take it off and away as a bulk. So it means that they have to figure out a way how to only affect the champions that they have sent out within these messages, which makes it inevitably a lot harder because they need to siphon through all of the data, find these specific sections that basically represent the amount of champions and dupes and whatever not that they have sent back, and how to adjust them. However, at the same time, there will be people, once again I mentioned, who will claim ignorance, saying like, I did not know what SIG level it was or whatever, and I didn't realize that Kabam had sent me extra and I ranked up my Namor. I wouldn't have done that if he was unduped. So for instance, I could technically rank 2 my Namor now, and if Kabam takes away my dupe, I will go and loudly complain that I would not have ranked up my Namor if he was unduped, and I wasn't completely in the know of what has happened and just claim ignorance. Now, I will not do that. I find it fairly silly and childish, but there will be plenty of people who do. Just even to make it harder for Kabam, I guess. That being said, so every moment that this issue is going on, there are people using the resources, ranking up the champions, adding signature stones in these champions, and that is going to make it so much more complicated for Kabam to sort it out. For instance, technically, I could now add in 30 mutant signature stones in my 6-star Namor, and even if I don't take rank 2, if Kabam is trying to take away my duplicate, they will also have an issue to deal with of giving back my 6-star signature stones. And considering that this issue involves thousands of people, any minute that Kabam lets these duplicates out in players' hands, it becomes more and more difficult for them to take them back, because then they're gonna have to go back to checking how it was originally, refunding these catalysts once again, refunding the signature stones once again, so on and so forth. Because again, I can use my signature stones here now. I could take my Namor to Sig 50, 60, but if they want to take the dupe away, they have to give me my signature stones back. And there's going to be a lot of these issues for Kabam to deal with, and that will make it extremely complex and difficult for them to take away, to a point where I doubt that they precisely can even do that, because all of this data is consistently changing. So that is going to be a big problem. If they are capable of doing that accurately, that's great. That would probably be the best solution, of setting the least amount of people. However, if they are not able to take away these rewards accurately and just continue to distribute correct rewards to everybody else, again, there's going to be a whole lot of people pissed off at the people who got more than they deserved or sold basically off. So that's not going to look good for Kabam, and there's going to be a huge uproar in forums, I guess. If they simply issue everybody who sold the same kind of like level of rewards, basically extra 6 stars, 5 stars, so on and so forth, then that's going to leave still a huge group of people pissed off, and that would be the group that didn't sell anything or didn't have anything to sell, basically saying they get all of this free stuff, why can't I get a copy of Namor? Okay, don't send me a duplicate Namor, but send me a 6-star Namor, right? Or a 5-star Namor. And there is some moral argument to that as well. So at this point, nothing they do will be perfect. And typically, I am relatively sympathetic for Kabam in these kind of situations, because they often put themselves in position when there is no great solution. There is going to be people who are pissed off no matter what they do, no matter how they sort out the problem, and everybody's going up in uproar. It's kind of like when they make God tier champions, people are pissed off that every new champion is God tier and more quote-unquote must, so they enforce the spending. Or if they make crap characters for a while, everybody's complaining that these champions are pointless and they're absolutely horrible and they don't know what they're doing. Quite often our player base loves to complain for the sake of complaining, and in this case it would not be that, but again, in this case it would be a simple fact of no matter what they do, there will be right and reason and moral argument for complaints. Just want to put that out there. Now, on the second hand, I love it. I love it because it's this problem, because it's something I have so passionately discussed on my channel before about how unethical, stupid, and unnecessary I find these balance changes to be, and for them to mess up on this has absolutely made my evening. And again, I'm not gloating because I have gotten currently in my possession Namor dupe 6-star. I really don't like him that much, and if I will ever have a chance between like Namor and some other good mutant champion to rank 3 as my 6-star, I'll probably take somebody else because I really don't enjoy playing Namor. But the point being is, I love it. I think it's karmic justice. I think it's funny. I think it's interesting. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Kabam sorts out this problem. How long does it take for them, and what the aftermath will be, because Kabam has unleashed carnage incarnate on player community right now, and there are so many people actively typing their opinions on the keyboards everywhere. So, knowing that there are people talking about this everywhere, why don't you talk about this in my comment section? Let me know, what do you think Kabam should do? Should they take away rewards from everybody, try to reissue everything? How will they sort out the issues of people who have invested the resource already? Can they actually produce a win from this result, or do you think they'll simply cave in and kind of like let the people keep this stuff or whatever? And again, I know that technically I'm beneficiary of this mistake currently, but take no qualms about it. I don't particularly care about it. I mean, like, it's cool and all, but I would not mind if I fix it at all. I definitely wouldn't feel like I got robbed of a chance of a lifetime. I just find it funny. I find it funny. Either way, that will do for today. Let me know what you guys think, and if you enjoyed today's video, or if you agree with me, even if you don't agree with me, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, share this video to your friends, alliance mates, and tell me, what do you think Kabam should do now? See ya.